Hello everyone, this is Professor Nelson from Electronics. Today we're going to talk about the components that are most prone to damage, so you can check your circuit board in an organized and precise way. This way, you won't have to check every single component on your board. The first thing we're going to do is check the voltage input where your electronic board is powered. There are usually components in this area that are commonly damaged by the high voltage of the main supply. In this case, I'm talking about the diode bridge, which can be made up of 4 diodes like these here, or composed of a diode bridge, as is the case in this electronic board. Therefore, the first thing you need to do is check the diodes in this area. To do this, set your multimeter to continuity or diode mode, and check the 4 diodes, if it's made up of individual diodes. The silver stripe would be the negative terminal, and the opposite side would be the positive terminal. Therefore, if we place negative on the side of the silver band and positive on the opposite side, our multimeter will measure a value. It should measure a value greater than 0, but if it reads 0, it means it's damaged. And if it shows a very large value, it also means that it is damaged. There you can see that it's showing a value, which means the diode is good. And if we measure it the other way around, it shouldn't read a value. There we can see that it's not reading a value. We do the same with the rest of the diodes. That's fine. Now, let's try it in reverse and see what happens. If it reads 0, it means it's damaged. And if it reads in both directions, it also means it's damaged. Therefore, the first thing to do is check these 4 diodes. However, if your board has a diode bridge instead of 4 diodes, as is the case with this board, you should know that it should never read at the AC input. However, it will read at the output in reverse bias. That is, if I connect negative to positive and positive to negative, it will definitely read. In all other situations, it should never read. Let's test it. It should never read at the AC input. We reverse the connections. It doesn't read. Now at the output, positive to positive, and negative to negative, it shouldn't read either. We reverse the connections. And it should always read. It will only give us a reading when we put the positive to the negative and the negative to the positive. You can confirm that by testing it on a diode bridge like this one here. Here's the positive and here's the negative. If I put negative here and positive here, it will definitely give me a reading. It won't give me a reading on the other pins. Connecting negative to positive and positive to negative should give me a reading. If I reverse it, it won't give me a reading. The same applies to the other pins. This way you can confirm if your diode bridge is working correctly. The other component is the capacitor after the diode bridge. It's usually a fairly large capacitor compared to the others. The same applies here. You can see that it's the largest capacitor compared to the others. This capacitor can sometimes be damaged, and a sign of this is usually a bulge on top. In other words, the capacitor will swell, and therefore it will degrade, and its value will also decrease. It might drop from 33 microfarads to half, or even less. That's why you need to measure its capacitance with your multimeter. However, if your multimeter doesn't have the option to measure capacitors with the probes, you'll have to find another multimeter or remove the capacitor. In this case, we're going to try this multimeter. We set it to farads. And we start measuring, connecting negative to negative and positive to positive. It tells us it's 63 microfarads. Let's see if it's 63. It's 68 microfarads, a very close approximation. That means the capacitor is in good condition. Another way to measure it is by continuity testing. That is, checking if the capacitor keeps the multimeter beeping. It should only beep for a few seconds and then stop. If the capacitor is short-circuited, it will keep beeping, indicating that it's damaged. That's good. We reverse the multimeter. It should beep for a moment. As you could hear, it beeped for a moment. That means the capacitor is in good condition. Then the other component would be the output diode. That is, the one that delivers the voltage from the power supply. Since the alternating current enters through here, and the capacitor is responsible for stabilizing the rectified current. If the capacitor is faulty, the voltage we get will be of poor quality. That is, instead of getting this, we could get this. This is due to a degraded capacitor. Therefore, it's a good idea to check the capacitors. After this, we need to check the shocky diodes. In this case, it has two integrated shocky diodes. They are in this package. There are two diodes, as you can see. The midpoint would be the common point, and the ends would be the output or the anodes. Therefore, in the middle or in this part, we place the negative of the multimeter with respect to the ends. We should obtain a lower reading than that of a normal diode. This is because these are shocky or high-speed diodes. We place the negative terminal as common and the positive terminal at the ends. There we have a value which is fine, since it has to be less than that of a normal diode. And the same at the opposite end. And the value is fine. Now, if we reverse the polarity, it shouldn't measure. If it does measure something, the diode is faulty. That's the capacitor charging. This capacitor, there it would be the same. The capacitor is charging until it reaches a very high value. That means that up to that point everything is fine. Now, another problem that often appears is in the power stages. The power stages are composed of relays, thyristors, and transistors. And it's common for these components to fail in these stages. In this case, we have a thyristor, but it's the same in the case of transistors. They can be BJTs or IGBTs. Now we're going to measure the TRIAC. The TRIAC has the pins in the following order: A1, A2, and the gate. Between the gate and A1, there should be a reading in both directions when the multimeter is set to continuity or diode mode. Between A2 and A1, there should be no reading, nor should there be a reading between A2 and the gate. You should only measure between A1 and the gate. Let's take the measurements. A1 and gate. There, everything is fine. Now, the other way around. And there, everything is fine. Between A1 and A2, everything is fine. A1 and A2, everything is fine. This way you can confirm that your thyristor or TRIAC is working correctly. If it were a BJT, IGBT, or MOSFET transistor, you would perform the same check in the correct order on the pins of your transistor. Now, the last component that usually burns out is the fuse. This is the most common component to burn out. Therefore, I advise you to always check the fuse first, since it's quite easy to test. You just need to measure continuity. And with that, you'll know if your fuse is good. Okay guys, this is how you can check your electronic boards. I hope this tutorial has been helpful. See you in the next video. But don't forget that if you like the video, a like helps the channel. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.